These Rocktrix wheels are very budget friendly, coming in at just under $700 shipped straight to your door from Amazon. What's up guys, it's Adrian, and today I'm going to be showing you guys the new wheels on my F150 Prerunner. So let me tell you guys all the reasons why I chose Rocktrix wheels. All right, so I'll be honest, number one is the price. Of course, everyone's always going to say buy once, cry once, and a whole bunch of other crap like that. But you know what, it's also important to spend within your budget and buy something that's appropriate for your build. So you don't always need the best stuff for your vehicle. I ran my last wheels for over 10 years with no issues. And other people will run those same exact wheels one weekend in the sand dunes and break 2 of them. So does that mean that they're a crappy wheel, or is it just not right for every single person? So in my opinion, you have to formulate your own risk ratio and just decide what your risk to budget ratio is and choose wheels that you're comfortable with. When I first got the wheels and unboxed them, I kind of compared the build quality to my previous set of wheels. I'm no wheel expert, so I don't know what to really look for, but there was no irregularities in the wheels. There was nothing funny on the back. They balance with balance beads and they drive down the road perfectly with my 3-year-old tires. So I don't think there's any major imperfections in the wheels. And for me, yes, I have an off-road truck that's built into a Prerunner, but I don't off-road every single day. I don't even off-road every single month. And the majority of my off-roading is a lot of trail riding. Maybe 10% of my off-roading is actually faster paced off-roading where my wheels are taking harder hits. So for the price, these wheels fall within a perfect budget. And for number 2, the design. I feel like the design of off-road wheels got a little boring for a while. Everybody went from the classic multi-circle wheel to a multi-spoke wheel, and all the wheels started looking a little similar. And when I was looking for new wheels, I found a little bit of inspiration from a lot of the rally cross wheels, and a lot of them have a lot more surface area on their wheels and a whole lot more spokes. And that's sort of what these RT115s reminded me of. The fat 5-spoke design gives the wheel a lot of mass in the middle, and then it has this mini aerofin style ring on the outside of the 5-spoke design, so it just makes them look a lot more beefy. I think it's a little trick on the eyes, but it actually makes the tires look larger. And these particular wheels came in a bronze and a black, and I almost went with bronze, but something just drew me back to a classic black off-road wheel. It just fits my truck well, and that's what I went with for now. And reason number 3, something new. I really just wanted to run something new. I ran my previous wheels for over 10 years, and it was just time for a change. So to partner with Rocktrix Wheels, who's kind of a new name to the truck game.
Must be a poet, because that rhymed.
Hopefully I can give you guys my honest feedback as I run these wheels, and I can even give my honest feedback to Rocktrix Wheels. And let's call this one 3.5 for YouTube. If you guys have watched other videos on my channel, you'll see that I've reviewed a lot of products from Amazon. And this kind of ties into all the other reasons for getting these wheels. I just want to show people more affordable options for their builds. I think the automotive community, and especially the truck community, can be kind of toxic sometimes. At the end of the day, we all just want to have fun building our trucks and being an enthusiast. So if that means saving some money by running some cheaper wheels, then so be it. Sometimes certain truck parts and brands is kind of like buying designer. It looks cool and flashy, but you don't really need it. But at the end of the day, it's up to you where your budget falls and what wheels you're comfortable getting. But this is a new brand on the market. They're available on Amazon, and so far for the few weeks I've been running them, I love them. So I'll make sure to post an update video in the future on the wheels.
Yeah, comment down below if you like this video. I'm gonna order me some of these wheels. It's so easy, a 4-year-old can do it. Come on guys, get yourself some.
Today we're going to be installing a quick release fire extinguisher mount, a spare tire Y strap, and hopefully some new storage on my 2004 Ford F150 Prerunner. And as a little bonus, I'm going to be cleaning up the inside of my bedsides because they're super dirty, so I'm going to try to get those back to black. And then while those are off, I bought a military style storage container off of Facebook Marketplace that I'm going to try to fit in place of my current storage bin. It's kind of big, so I'm not sure it's going to fit, so those will just be bonuses to this video. So here is our order of operations. The first thing I'm going to do is take off my bedsides just to get easier access to everything back here, because you can see that storage bin is tucked up all the way in the front, and that's the one that I want to try to replace. And then also the inside of my bedsides is super dirty just throughout the years of road grime and dirt, and it doesn't really come off super easily, so I'm going to soak this in degreaser and pressure wash the crap out of it. And then if it still doesn't come clean, I'm just going to put a new coat of just some canned bed liner on there to make them black and clean again. And the reason I'm replacing my Y strap is just because this one is just faded. I can't get it clean or black anymore, so I just ordered a new one to replace this strap. And then the same thing for the fire extinguisher mount. My old one was just super faded and it wasn't black anymore, so I ordered a replacement for that too. All right, so I got one bedside off, so I'm gonna move on to the other, but I figured I'd tell you guys about these bedsides. So these are fiberglass bedsides, and they are mounted to just a bed cage, so I don't have any of the original bed structure left. So all this is tube work with mounts for the tail lights and the bed sides hanging off the side. So these are a bunch of fender washers that hold on the fiberglass, and then just 2 factory bolts that go into these tabs to hold on the tail lights into the fiberglass. Just some little connectors to mount these up. And the tail light will come right off the fiberglass right here. There's actually nothing left of the original bed structure to this truck. So off of the frame rails is like the full bed cage. So there's these tube supports that go off to mount the bed sides, little tabs that hold the tail light in. So just pull the tail light off. And then after that, you just got to take off all these fender washers all around the side, and the bed side just lifts right off like you guys saw on the other side. And it is nice and sunny. Summer is kind of starting out here in Las Vegas, so it's not too hot yet. Today is 83 degrees, so it's perfect weather to get out here and get some things done on the truck. Okay, so this should give you guys a much better idea about how dirty it is. So I would like for all this to just be black, but as you can see, it's pretty much a shade of brown. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit this with a pressure washer, see how much dirt it can knock off, throw some degreaser on here, scrub it up with a brush, hit it again, and then if it's not looking decent, then we're gonna use some canned spray on bed liner and just do a little fresh coat on there to make it look good up here. And then after that, we'll go ahead and start putting on some of these accessories now that we have access to the entire back half of the truck. So that is one really cool thing about taking off these bed sides, is that you get complete access to everything back here. So getting to the battery, the fuel tank, the storage container, shock suspension, all that kind of stuff is pretty easy once this is off. You can just kind of climb in and out of it like a little jungle gym, get some work done. Now I wish it was a little bit easier to get them off, but once they're off and out of the way, you got free range back here. All right, so I got my pressure washer hooked up, got my little shorty right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started right now. Okay, so after 4 passes of pressure washing and scrubbing, they're still pretty dirty. They got a lot better than I thought they were going to. It did get a lot of dirt off of it, so I'm sure that'll help that bed liner stick a little better. So I'm gonna go ahead and let these dry, and then we will throw in a coat of that bed liner. But while these are drying, we can jump over and install our tire strap and our fire extinguisher mount. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is replace this old dingy strap with this Pro Armor 1.5" Y ratcheting strap. So I'm gonna get this old strap out of the way, and then we'll set up the lengths on this strap. So one of the main differences is this strap has these little clips, and this one just has a hook design. So a little bit different on how it's gonna mount, but it should tighten up and work just the same. Okay, so I got the Y strap all installed. So the only difference is this one is a little bit more light duty, I guess you can say. It's sold by Pro Armor and it's advertised as a UTV or off-road strap. My tire does sit within tube work, so it's kind of underneath here. So I wasn't too worried about it just straight up flying out because it's wedged in there pretty good. And the strap was just holding up the top half. So hopefully this is good. It definitely looks a lot nicer than that old ugly strap that was on there. And these hooks all hooked up fine right in here to these loops that are built into the bed cage for the spare tire straps. I just went ahead and folded up all the slack and then used some big zip ties to hold it up there just in case I needed it ever in the future. I don't want to just cut it all off right away. And there's not too much slack down here. So this strap is on there nice and tight, and we'll see how long it lasts. All the other straps that I was finding were either super expensive or they had a graphic printed on it, and I just wanted a plain black strap. So I found this one on Amazon. It was pretty affordable, and we'll see how it holds up. Okay, so off camera, I went ahead and pressure washed and cleaned up this bin that I got off of Facebook Marketplace. As you guys can see, it is way bigger than my previous one. So this is the bin that was in there. Since this bin was a little bit too big to fit onto the existing mounts, I'm gonna go ahead and throw it in storage for now. And then once we have time to either make brackets, or if it's too complex for me, take it to a shop and get some mounts made. It'll sit in storage, but it fits perfectly in between the bed cage. So it is a perfect size to fill up the entire gap. So I'm definitely gonna hold on to it and get it mounted eventually. Okay, now for these bed sides, the stuff I'm gonna use is Herculiner do-it-yourself truck bed liner. It's just in these 15-ounce aerosol cans. I bought these ones off Amazon also. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a nice even coat on the inside of the entire bed side. I did a little test section just to see how it was gonna come out after it dries. And obviously it is way better than it was before. So this is the little test section right here. Now, if I wanted to be extra careful, I would tape off everything, but my bed sides are in dire need of a paint job, so I'm not really too worried about overspray on this. This also sprays out a little heavy, so it doesn't really overspray like crazy. So I'm gonna go ahead and just use the steady hand method. Also, if you look at one of my bed sides, I actually sprayed some of this on the outside bottom half because it was so paint chipped that I just needed to cover it up. And I wanted to see kind of how it looked, because eventually I want to do the bottom half with actual bed liner once I get the truck repainted. And it actually looked really good. So I do want to spray this on the outside on both sides just to even it up until I get a new paint job on the truck, because I'm not sure how far down the road that is. So I'm gonna do this today, and then maybe I'll make another video to show you guys how I sprayed the outside bottom half of my bed sides. So I'm gonna spray these, that way they have time to dry, and then we'll get back onto the truck to put the fire extinguisher mount on. Next thing we're gonna do is mount this fire extinguisher with the new quick release mount. So when you order the quick release mount, it comes with the piece that hooks up to the fire extinguisher and the piece that stays on your mounting surface, and then 4 hose clamps, 2 for each half. So the side with the little pin is what's gonna go onto my bed cage, and the side without it is what's gonna go onto the fire extinguisher. So you can put the fire extinguisher side on your bench. It has a little curve to it, that way it fits around the cylinder. Okay, so first thing you're gonna do is figure out the orientation that you want this on your truck. So I want the pin obviously closer to the back, that way I can pull the pin out on the outside. I'm gonna be putting it on my passenger side of the bed cage. I want the fire extinguisher to be mounted just like this. So now you can see which way I gotta put it, because the pins are actually 2 different sizes. The quick release pin is a lot thicker and the front pin is a little bit smaller. So with that apart, I'm gonna go ahead and mount this onto the fire extinguisher. Okay, so once that's all mounted on there, you can kind of mock it up and see how it goes. So the front one is an open hook, that way you can hook it in there, and the bottom one is an actual hole, that way you can pull the pin and let it go straight to that hole to hold it on there. So the next thing we're gonna do is go find a spot on the bed cage to mount this piece on. So I'm actually gonna put it in a new spot. I used to have it up here on the tube, but that's actually pretty far away to be able to get it in an actual emergency. And this in the back is gonna be a lot more accessible. I guess ultimately it sucks because it'd be easy to steal it from here, but hopefully nobody's that much of an a-hole to steal a fire extinguisher. But who knows? But as far as access goes, if I can have it back here, it'd be a lot easier to get to. Fire extinguisher is one of those things, obviously, you don't ever want to have to use it, but it's nice to have at least one small one in case you get a small electrical fire. You can put it out as opposed to sitting there helpless watching your entire car burn down. Okay, so there we go. It's mounted up right by the spare tire. A lot easier to get from the back of the truck right here. Your pin is right on the outside. Pull the pin and this thing will come right off. I used to have it all the way up here, but with the bedside on, it's super hard to get to. I mean, you could get it, but you're having to reach your whole body in to be able to reach it. So right back here, anyone's able to grab it of any height, AKA my wife, in case she needs to put me out if I'm on fire. Pull this pin, this thing comes right out, and your fire extinguisher is good to go. So whenever you're moving around your fire extinguisher, go ahead and check your gauge, just be safe about it. Mine still shows full. And I actually do want to add a second fire extinguisher just to be extra safe. So maybe I'll just even it out and put one on each side. So it fits there pretty nice, it's not really in the way. And I can fit another one on this tube right here, and then we'll double the safety, right? So I'll give you guys a little demo. Oh no, a fire. Come back here, pull the pin, and the whole thing just comes right out, and then you're good to go. To put it back in, slide the front end first, pull the pin, let it snap right into that hole. We'll see, these usually aren't too noisy, so hopefully this little bit of wobble is not noisy. My last one was an aluminum one as well, and it wasn't noisy, so there we go. Good old slapperoo, good to go.
Oh no, are you kidding me?
And if I didn't already tell you guys, this fire extinguisher mount is also from Amazon, so I'll link that down below too. As you guys can tell, I do a lot of shopping on Amazon.
You are looking at a prime customer, everybody. 2 days free shipping for this guy.
Okay guys, and then last but not least is to show you guys how these bedsides turned out. So if you guys remember the before, these things were absolutely filthy. So for a cheap can of spray bed liner and a few passes of degreaser and pressure washer, these things are looking pretty good on the inside. They're pretty rough on the outside, but you can see all of this a lot from the backside since I have an exposed bed. So this is a big part of the truck when you're looking at it from the rear. Last year I tore this all down and repainted all the tube work, and that helped out a lot, but this was just lagging and looking crappy. So I'm definitely glad I did this. Both the bedsides look pretty freaking good on the inside. Nothing fancy, just use a cheap can to spray them up. So I'm gonna go ahead and mount these and then show you guys the difference. So if you guys can see what I'm doing down here, I'm putting in my fender washers, but on some of these ones in the back, I have to put in some real washers to help space it out because they just weren't mounted perfectly 9 years ago when I got this fiberglass put on. So there's a few tricks to getting it on, making it look decent. But if this YouTube stuff keeps going well, I'd love to do a body conversion again. Either back to the OG 11th gen or up to a like 15 and up F150, or even just the 12th gen but a Raptor, and just mix it up a little bit because this fiberglass is in rough shape. I even added some new scratches to it today, and I'm not sure I love it enough to spend all the money on body and paint on all this cracked up fiberglass. All right, well, here's the finished product for today. We got our fire extinguisher mounted back here, and we have our bedsides looking just black. I know it's something kind of simple, but it made a big difference back here. Like I said, you can see the entire inside of these bedsides from the back of the truck. So it definitely was a little bit of an eyesore. Now we'll see how long this stuff lasts back here. Then that tool bin was a fail, and our tire strap came out nice and perfect. And don't mind all this taillight wiring looking like crap. I just zip tied it up here for now. All of that wiring I actually have to redo because when I stripped the truck down to repaint the bed cage, the wiring was just super old and I wasn't happy with it. So I took off my LED lights, I unwired my locker and a whole bunch of other stuff back here. And I bought all new stuff that I have to install. So that's gonna be a pretty big project and I'm gonna do that separately. So one day I'm gonna just put this back down to just the chassis and then start my wiring over again from the cab back and make it a lot cleaner, a lot nicer. I bought a whole bunch of nice connectors, new lights, and a whole bunch of stuff for back here. So hopefully I can get that done sometime soon and make a video doing that. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Hope you guys like the stuff that I put in the truck. If you guys have any questions, let me know down below in the comments. And I'll try to make update videos and all the stuff that I get from Amazon. I know it's hit or miss with Amazon stuff, but I feel like it's always worth taking the risk for the price. Hope you guys are having a good time. Weather's getting nice. Spend some time outside, work on your trucks, and follow me on Instagram at JustKingAdrian. Check out my Facebook group, F150 Prerunner /off-road. And I'll see you guys in the next one.
This is Just King Adrian. Like and subscribe. Bye. Love ya.